Related to finding horizontal asymptotes is an idea called end behavior models. I know my description, very quick description of horizontal asymptotes, is not quite the way you were taught it back in Algebra 2 and pre-calculus. The way you were taught in Algebra 2 and pre-calculus actually depends upon this idea of an end behavior model. And the idea of this is we only use end behavior models, or EBMs, as x is approaching positive or negative infinity. And if x is approaching anything else, we cannot use these. So specifically, these are used only for horizontal asymptotes. And the idea is when we look at a function, what term of the function takes over as x gets bigger? So for example, if I have this 7th degree polynomial, and say I start with 1, well, that'd be 1 plus 6 minus 2 plus 5. Each term is roughly the same size. But then I say, well, x is 10. Well, that would be 10 million plus 6,000 minus 200 plus 5. Well, at this point, the 10 million is a lot bigger than the 5. That's even a lot bigger than the 200. So we can actually start kind of ignoring those terms. It's kind of debatable whether we could say 10 million is a lot bigger than 6,000. So let's take it out to f of 100. Well, that would be 10 to the 14th power plus 6 million minus 20,000 plus 5. 10 to the 14th power is 100 quadrillion. And I think you can say 100 quadrillion is a lot bigger than any of these other terms. And so what that tells us is this x to the 7th term is taking over. It gets so much bigger than every other term that the other terms don't make any real contribution. And that's the term we call an end behavior model. So I would say that my end behavior model is y equals just x to the 7th. And this means anytime I do a limit as x is going to positive infinity or negative infinity, instead of using this more complicated original function, I can replace it with the end behavior model, which is easier to use. So to find a horizontal asymptote, I have to do a limit as x goes to negative infinity off to the left. That would be equivalent to finding the limit as x goes to negative infinity of just our end behavior model, x to the 7th, which is going to be negative infinity, and so there's no horizontal asymptote to the left. Going to the right, x going to positive infinity of my function. To find a horizontal asymptote to the right, I can instead find the limit as x goes to positive infinity of the end behavior model. Well, the limit as x goes to positive infinity of x to the 7th is just infinity, and so to the right there's also no horizontal asymptote. Anything with polynomials works really nicely because we can just use the highest power term. In polynomials, highest power terms are always going to be the end behavior model. And this is even true in fractions. So for example, this complicated rational function. For an end behavior model, because it's made of polynomials, I can just use the highest power terms, 3x to the 5th and 2x to the 5th, which when I simplify it is 3 halves. And for my horizontal asymptotes then, I would just use this. So going to the left, the limit as x goes to negative infinity of f of x would be the same as the limit as x goes to negative infinity of my end behavior model, which is 3 halves. So there is a horizontal asymptote to the left at y equals 3 halves. And going to the right, the limit as x goes to positive infinity of f of x, I can use the limit as x goes to positive infinity of my end behavior model, which will just be 3 halves. And so there is a horizontal asymptote to the right of y equals 3 halves also.